Board of Trustees regular meeting to order for April 10th, 2023. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Lohman?
Here.
Hyam?
Here.
Heiss?
Here.
Approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held March 13th, 2023.
I make a motion to approve it.
Mr. Lohman, did you have something you noticed on there?
Oh yeah, it was just the West Jet meeting was the 6th, not the 12th of April.
Okay, and I have a copy where I have made that correction. So given that correction, is there a motion? Was that your motion, Mr. Heiss?
Yeah, I make a motion with the correction.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Lohman?
Yes.
Heiss? Or, I'm sorry, Hyam?
Yes.
Heiss?
Yes.
Approval of the minutes for the special meeting held March 24th, 2023.
I can make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Lohman?
Yes.
Hyam?
Yes.
Heiss?
Yes.
Approval of the minutes for the special meeting held March 27th, 2023.
Make that motion.
I can't, I was not there.
I'll second it. Roll call.
Lohman?
Yes.
Hyam? Mr. Heiss, do you abstain on
I
that?
passed, yeah.
So then after we approve those minutes, from now on, we'll sign Matt's copy, because that was a recommendation from Ohio Township Association, so we'll start doing that.
Yeah, I'll get a, can you hold on just a second? I can.
Well, you can just you can just pass them down when you get them. And then we did already sign the ones from the previous meetings for this year. Okay, approval to pay the bills has been presented over the past month.
I make approval.
Second. The only thing I have was one question, was Brian, you could probably answer on bank one.
Put your microphone.
On the bank one statement, we were charged interest for late fees. When we were signing checks, I
Credit
noticed
card.
that is why it looked like there was just a partial payment.
I think I'll look into that, Dennis. I think we missed 1 month.
Oh, is
but
that
I'll
what it
look
was?
into it.
All right.
For which one was it?
The U.S. Bank?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
U.S. Bank.
Okay. I'll look into
I
it.
thought it was probably had to do with credit cards.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
U.S. Bank is our credit card.
Okay.
Motion and a second.
Did you
Oh,
second it?
the
Yep.
bill.
Okay. Roll
Made a
call.
motion, then I second it.
Lohman?
Yes.
Hyam?
Yes.
Heiss?
Yes.
Okay, then correspondence. Was a Board of Health meeting today at 4 o'clock. There's OTA virtual training for April and May. You can, I think, register up to the day.
Hold on, what, Board of Health was when?
Today at 4.
And then your second one?
Ohio Township Association virtual training is for April and May. You can register online.
Okay.
Hamilton County Solid Waste meeting is May 1st at 3 p.m.
May 1st?
Yeah, 250 William Howard Taft. But you can also watch it online. That Kathy Dieters had emailed about, because we had said something about getting gas. aggregates, but it would have to be put on a ballot. So when we did the electric, was that put on a ballot? That people voted on that?
Yeah, that was,
Oh, it was.
that was some years back.
So I guess if we want to pursue it, it would have to be put on a ballot this fall.
People that would affect would be Fort Scott, wouldn't it? Or is
It's
that
in,
gas
I have it
line?
at my house.
Oh,
It's
you got it
down New Haven.
coming down through New Haven, and then it goes back up Boffman?
Yeah, and then all of like Parks of Whitewater and everybody. Well, do we would that affect them or not? Or is that because that's
City
city?
of Harrison.
So it'd be mainly what you just said, Fort Scott.
Well, it affects Trails of Whitewater, or Whitewater Trails also, I guess.
Well, that's City of Harrison's. Because do you
Oh,
get it?
okay,
Are you
that's right.
with that electric aggregate through us or not?
No, that's,
See, because
we
that
have Butler Rural.
you're controlled by the city,
Okay,
so that that wouldn't apply to you.
okay.
But I guess would they vote on that even then because they're in the township?
You mean the Parks of Whitewater?
Yeah.
Could they vote on the Crosby Township?
Well, because they wouldn't be affected by it, but since they're in Crosby, would they still vote on
I
that?
don't know.
That's, I mean, I guess I could ask her for more information. So I went to that Hamilton County Board of Health Council Advisory Meeting on the 14th. Just a few quick things from it. They did mention, which we knew already, about the dry well septics. It was extended to 2045. They have a department there for illegal dumping, so and we've had that problem a couple years ago, so I guess if it happens again, they have a department for that. And then they have COVID clinics, which I think are gonna be closed soon. I heard that they're only getting like 20 people a week are going to them to get free tests, not tests, but shots, booster shots. And flu, and that peaked last fall, like really high, but then it's dropped really quickly, like this year. But STDs are high in Hamilton County, so that's encouraging. That's about all I have from that. I think Lieutenant Stuckey has it on her report, but April 22nd is the drug take-back day, and at Harrison Township Center is the closest one probably. It's from 10 to 2. I went to the West JAD meeting on the 6th. I just have a few quick points. They renewed their pharmacy license for state. They've been working with multiple paramedic and EMT students this quarter. And they have continued to have training with joint training groups. They have a good attendance from Whitewater and West JAD. They said if Crosby's interested, they can attend. Of course, they're welcome. They've had several difficult calls, have received compliments from the receiving hospitals regarding the care that they were given. And then they sold Medic 6. It went for $1,700. They sold it at that Hamilton County auction site. Other than that, they're in good shape financially, and they're pretty good as far as staffing. It's been going good, she said, or they said. Shaker Village is having their 200th anniversary this year. April 22nd, there's an event, and there's other events later in the year. There's a whitewatervillage.org. You can go on to get information.
What anniversary is that?
Shaker's, the Whitewater Shaker Village will be 200 years old this year, or it is. As far as the state of Ohio, for March, GDP's up 1.5% over estimate. Year-to-date amounts are up 4.6% above 2022. The general revenue fund has $3.4 billion in reserves. And personal tax revenue is up $32.2 million over estimate. I think that's all I have. Oh, I got a thing in the mail, but I don't know if we can vote on it or not. For Butler Rural, there's like candidates, but
Yes, you can vote on
Well,
it.
they don't list Crosby Township, it just said Harrison Township. It had, District 8 was Harrison Township and Hamilton County and Morgan Township.
Well, what is the 8, those 9 different districts? But
There's two
I-
other ones here.
yeah, I can vote on all. There's every year's got 3 different districts running, so I belong to that. So this year I can vote for those other districts, even though I'm not in the Crosby district. Confusion. I brought that up, but I've been that way forever.
So do we usually vote on it or not?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
we do.
vote on it. Yeah.
So which district do we vote on?
All 3. I know it's confusing, but that's how it is.
I'll pass around, you can look at it, we can bring it up later then, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you see it already or no?
You're supposed to have your recommendations.
I don't know if.
I think
it
the
might- if it's-
deadline.
I don't know if there's even,
Mr. Loman, did you get that
can.
in the mail, like at your house?
no, here.
Oh, here. Okay.
You can or cannot vote on it. I mean, up to you if you want to vote on it. You're allowed to vote if you want to. So, and it coming up.
Look at it.
I
or-
think it coming
I
up.
move that we allow Doug to choose the candidate he feels proper to represent Crosby Township.
Yeah, I think the deadline is about 2 weeks, I believe.
Okay.
So,
Is there a second on that motion at all?
I move that Doug go ahead and fill it out for Crosby Township with
Yeah.
his selection.
I second it.
Roll call,
Loman,
yes.
Hyam,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes.
That's all I have. Dennis?
All right, correspondence. ICRC's next meeting is Thursday, April the 27th, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. I should be able to make that unless something else comes up.
Said 5:30 to 7.
Yeah, 7:30.
30.
Everybody has a Hamilton County Stormwater District billing that I received in the email, so we'll discuss that under new business. I got an email from Ryan Wainscott on facility stormwater planning, and they would like to start training with our staff, which is Harry and everybody over there in maintenance, I assume, sometime after May the 1st. So I'll get with you, Harry, and we'll figure out a date, and then I'll get a hold of him and we'll get that scheduled. And then right before I got here, I had Beth Frankenstein gave me a text, and she's from Adopt a Plant, and she's working with the Shaker Garden Club, and evidently they take care of the Passmore log cabin next to the firehouse. The garden club wants to plant an oak tree around the area of the cabin for Arbor Day and would like to get it planted Wednesday. She wanted to see if that was okay with us. So I don't, how much, is there enough room over there for an oak tree to grow and expand? All right, well, I didn't have time to go over there and take a look. I know there's a lot of area around there. So,
Just so there's no wires above it.
I'll make a motion that we allow the garden club to plant an oak tree around the Passmore log cabin.
I second it.
Roll call,
Loman,
yes.
Hyam,
Yes,
Heiss.
Yes.
that's all I have.
She did talk to me too about planting some pansies, and she also asked about us mulching by the church and that, and I told her that we couldn't. I mean, that's private property.
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to forgot to mention that. Chuck?
Going back to Hamilton County Board of Health, I will receive a report for 2022, the annual report. Likewise, Hamilton County Board of Health also receive a report for the first quarter of 2023. I don't know if you got it too. I also got from the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority. They got a spring 2023 newsletter. And for now, Preserve, I got a report for the month of April. The events that happening at the visitor center, and they also got I guess it started up something like a book club for our Preserve. They talk about different things about nature. So this report covered the month of March, April, and May. So that's all I have.
Thanks. Guest Sheriff Stuckey
Great.
or Lieutenant Stuckey.
That's all right. Let's see. So for the month of March, Crosby Township had 96 calls. We had 4 criminal reports. We had 3 non-criminal reports. Our detectives were assigned 3 cases. One of those cases was closed. We had 5 accidents and no DUI arrest. And you already mentioned the National Drug Take Back, April 22nd. So, and that's all I have. If anybody has anything, I'm going to take off after this and not stay for the full meeting, so.
The only thing I have is Jeff Aludo, the Hamlin County Administrator. I was talking to Janice Driehaus at a meeting I was at, and she was saying that she was surprised that he had never contacted us yet. And that was back in February, so I guess we're in the clear for now.
Under the radar.
Still, yeah.
So you haven't heard anything?
Know
Yeah, so I don't know
keep
where it's
passing the
at, but
message along.
I haven't heard anything, and so we'll wait and see when he shows up.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Public at large, did you want to say something? Just go up to the microphone and introduce yourself. And
Hello, my name is Caitlin Snyder. I am the branch supervisor youth services at the Harrison branch of the public library.
Can you spell your name for me, ma'am?
CAITLINSNYDER.
Thank you.
And historically, our manager, Michelle, has been the one to come out and visit you. I'm not gonna lie, she kept you to herself, so you guys are her favorite. But she got a promotion and she's a regional manager now, and so we are in between managers. Our new manager starts the 1st of May. Her name is Kate. She is coming from the North Central branch of the library, so from another large branch. She has experience. We're very excited to have her. I have been steering the ship while we've been between managers, and that's not what my personality is best at. So we are holding on until May 1st. But in the meantime, we are still doing great things at the library. We do have a program with the tree board at the end of April, April 25th. We also have, we are doing a spring campaign to spread awareness about our resources online. We subscribe to a ton of databases that are really, really helpful. A lot of these resources require paid subscriptions from individuals. So like Ancestry.com, you would have to have an account for. The Chilton's repair manual online, that's another really expensive one. We have subscriptions to that you have access to with your library cards. So we have amazing things at our fingertips. You know about the books, you know about the children's programs, and of course, you know, things have spread into ebooks, but we have so much information that we have access to that we can search, and we are happy to walk you through how to access and use any of that if you ever have any questions, all right? Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Anybody have any questions?
No? Thanks for coming.
Thank you. All right, reports, legal, Alan?
Yes, returning to the topic of the transfer of the property to the Historical Society. the last time we met, Chuck had pointed out to me that the statute that pertains to the township transferring property had been amended. And the amendments took effect April 6th, just a few days ago. However, the one thing the amendment didn't do is get rid of the $2,500 of value so that it has to be, in the opinion of the board, the property has to be $2,500 or less in value to make a contribution to a charitable organization. A few months ago, I spoke to an appraiser because I think Dennis had spoken to somebody, and then I'd spoken to somebody. And really, upon his suggestion, I gave it a little thought, and I'm thinking maybe the simplest way to do things, and I was trying to prepare a proposed resolution. I'll bring it next month, but because the deed says that if the property is no longer used for township or charitable or historical purposes, it reverts back to the grantors. And the grantors have always been, cooperative. They'll do whatever. So the thought might be that we just, by resolution, because we want the Historical Society to take over that property, is to, by resolution, state that the township is no longer going to use that property for township or historical purposes, so that and then deed it back to the original grantors, provided that they in turn deed it to the Historical Society.
When you say property, is that just the building? Because the property's not ours.
No, the property and building, it's all one. And if the property, if you transfer title to the deed, you're gonna, whatever building's on there goes with it. So.
Because doesn't Bill Weisbrod technically own the property? Like if we would ever walk.
The way the deed
He doesn't
is,
own it now. He will if you give it back to him.
but it's got that stipulation.
Right.
So it makes sense if.
I mean, that to me, that's probably the
Cleanest way.
simplest way to do it, is just put it back in the hands of the grantor, and then they will in turn transfer title to the Historical Society with the same restriction on it. That if you no longer use it for historical purposes, then it goes back to the grantor. We'd have to terminate our lease that we have in place with the Historical Society, and then they have to probably understand that, they're responsible for everything at that point. So.
Are they in agreement with that?
Well, I was going to ask her.
That's the question. They, when I was talking to her, they might not accept that possibility.
Chuck, do you know anything? I mean, you're on.
We haven't made any decision one way or another.
You haven't talked about. Have you talked about it or?
Not really. So
You have a meeting.
Well, if they're not willing to do that,
I think they're waiting to see what.
nothing we can do,
They're
really.
gonna have to take a vote on it.
I think they're waiting to see. I get all the detail what gonna happen. So I thought last trustee meeting we can have a.
Right, everything's
See
up in
what's-
the area.
Yeah.
She was gonna go talk to the owner, so I don't know if she did or not.
I think the elephant in the room is whether they're going to be okay with the idea of them being in total control and ownership of the property and not have the township pay every time the roof needs repaired, the foundation is crumbling, and everything else while they operate it.
But then they can raise money easy. They have a harder time raising money because of us owning it, correct?
Yes, that was to facilitate their ability. Now, the last time I spoke to Bill Weisbrod, he was not opposed to that.
Right.
So, but we just have to get all the parties on the same page and see if they're willing to do that.
Maybe they'll be all right with it now that they have a little nest egg of a new roof and new exterior repairs, and give them a little head start.
They will find out when they have their next meeting, because I gave them a proposal too. And So we'll just see how they have to discuss it, and they gotta vote on it, and it's just up to their lap, so.
You want, you can come to the next trustee meeting, Dennis.
I don't wanna get stoned.
So,
All right, well, yeah. If you want me to come, I'll come, but they're gonna have to, there's a lot of moving parts to this, and they gotta make up their mind what they wanna do.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Alan.
Did you wanna do the resolutions
Maintenance,
under your
Harry?
stuff?
I really don't have anything. Nicest for me,
Okay.
so we can get started and get things done.
What'd you say, Harry? I didn't catch what.
I don't have anything.
Yes, you're
maintenance.
cutting grass now, I can see. Once you start, that's it.
when the last time you went around to see the street lights? Because the other day I was coming back and I saw the light at Mount Hope. The street light is out.
Yeah,
So,
we're at on Mount Hope, you know?
Mount Hope, at the corner of Mount Hope and New Haven.
Right.
So I was coming over
I'll go
Glide
take
Fork.
care.
So you can tell really easily out because it was dark. So
Do you know when the guys are gonna do the street repair up there in Fort Scott?
No,
On, that
call
one
him.
section?
I'll call him tomorrow,
Yeah.
get a hold of him.
And then while we're on Fort Scott, I did get a hold of the county engineer's office, and they're rebidding the street resurfacing because they were way low on their initial bids when they put it out the bid, and they were 20% off. And so they're resubmitting new bids, and he will get back with me when that process is done.
Yeah.
So, and then also, I guess, I was after them to repave Edgewood Road, and that's not gonna happen until they get that new trunk line for the next housing development put in. And I was talking to Kim Downey, this weekend, and evidently they're letting the bonds out on that project, so that'll probably be happening this year yet, putting a new sewer line up through there, so.
That's starting at Edgewood, I think, and then they're gonna tear the road up to put it,
I imagine they'll put it right down the middle of the road.
yeah, but I think it's starting at Edgewood.
So there's that going on, and then after we have Crosby cleanup days, this lot out here, you wanna look at getting that resurfaced before it falls apart anymore as far as sealing.
Listen out here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's got a lot of cracks.
I called him and talked to him, and he's supposed to give me a bid on it.
Okay,
Yeah.
When that happens, can we make the parking spots wider?
well, they'll have to restripe it,
That's what I'm saying. If you're resurfacing it, you have to restripe it, right?
but then we gotta have a certain amount of parking spots out there to coincide for zoning for the occupancy of this building.
It's like,
They're
it's
close.
it's really dangerous, and especially on election day when this place is packed. And I understand the last thing we want is less parking spots for it, but like, I've seen wrecks happen, like when I'm out there, like electioneering and stuff. I mean, it's close.
Do workers park at the firehouse? They should if
I
they
think
don't
so.
now.
now they're dark.
No, but that doesn't. I mean, that doesn't.
That would free up
I,
10 or how many spaces?
How wide are the spots over there in front of the maintenance building? Are they bigger
I didn't mean fire.
than
I
these
meant the
spots out
maintenance
here?
building.
About the same, yeah.
I know what you mean.
Are they? I mean, if there's 6 inches difference,
firehouse.
6 inches means a lot when you're parking. 9 foot is standard?
My truck, when I park, and I understand I have a big truck, but my truck has probably maybe 6 inches on each side.
You're right, you've got a lot more trucks than you got cars. And they,
I'm not the only person in Crosby Township with a truck either.
Yeah, you are.
All right, well, so let's measure that. I'm sure in the zoning book, it's got the dimensions of the parking spots. So we'll have to take and look what's in the zoning book and then see what these are out here. And if there's a difference and these are narrower, when we do the resurfacing, we can put new lines down, we'll make them up to spec.
I had a stripe the last time. Guy out in Indiana did it for me.
Yeah.
When we,
Well, we can look into that though, because these are pretty narrow.
I've got some books over there. I'll have to look too.
All right.
probably look at the near
Anything else for Harry?
Nope.
All right, Fire, Chief Davis.
March run totals, we had 35 EMS details, 24 fire details, for a total of 59 details in March. Our 2004 fire engine is in need of 2 cab lift hydraulic cylinders. When we put fluids into the apparatus, we have to lift the cab to get to the fill sites. Both of those cylinders are shot, one more than the other. In your report, I have a quote for the 2 cylinders and then installing them through our mechanic. Thinks it can be a 4 or 5 hour job, so the downtime won't be too long. I'm asking for approval for the purchase and installation to fix that issue. He will order them when they come in. He'll let me know. We'll schedule an appointment to get it over there and get them installed.
Chief, can you, since you're asking for approval for something, what exactly was that approval for again?
For hydraulic lift cylinders for the fire truck, fire engine.
Is this the new one on order
No, this
or
is
the old one?
Yes, the current one we have.
I didn't look through your report yet. Is that something that's,
Yeah, it's in
Last
the
page.
last
There.
page.
Page of the report. And Mike has done work for us. He's been working on the vehicles here for the past year for us.
so you're looking for approval to expense out of any kind of equipment, 234169?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the purchase and the not exceed $2,400 of the hydraulic lift cylinders and installation.
I second it.
Roll call.
Lohman,
Yes.
Hyam,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes.
The Hamilton County Auction Surplus Manager met with myself. He and I met last month down at Station 27 to talk about and look at the equipment. Since then, we have labeled equipment that belongs to the township to be placed in the auction. He will be back out on April 18th to take photos and log the equipment. Once he gets those logged into the website, he'll let me know when it'll be active on the website. And I believe it was 14 to 15 days on the website. As soon as I hear back from him on when it will be active, I'll get with all 3 trustees and Matt and Brian, let them know.
So we can bid on it?
He felt like there's quite a few things that will bring interest.
That's good.
Well, in case anybody's listening, off the top of your head, what are some of the things that we're talking about?
Some of the bigger things are that 87 fire truck, spare SCBA bottles. That's what we use for our breathing apparatus. There's probably about 2 dozen of those. An old EMS cot for the back of a squad that we no longer use. Some old collapsible chairs, we call them stair chairs, to bring patients up and down stairs from basement or second floor. And then some ladders that have failed rescue testing, which we can't use for rescue mode, but they still can be used for around the house. Those are the big ones. An air compressor off of the engine that we had when Fernald, that was part of the requirements with Fernald. We took that off and we had a new air compressor. Those are the main ones. Some small hand tools.
Okay.
And the last thing I have is I would like to call an executive session to discuss part-time employee wages.
You ever take the generator out of the back end of that fire truck?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
That is at Station 28.
It was still good generator, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anything else for Chief Davis?
Yeah, I met with Chief Davis and discussed Crosby's response to disasters. What was that guy's name?
Give me a second. Ryan?
I didn't know what his official capacity was because I was just getting text from you.
Sure. I can find it for you.
While you're looking it up. We went down a list of different scenarios: flood risk, tornado risk, earthquake risk, and riot risk, and just a whole bunch of stuff that the federal government may have funds in case we needed federal assistance. And they wanted us to rate the likelihood of what these different things, floods happening, which we got the Great Miami River, and so floods was higher than earthquakes. So we had to rate them 1 to 5 and stuff like that. So Chief Davis and myself, we went through, it took us about an hour and a half, that April the 3rd, and we went down through the questionnaires and rated what we thought was appropriate for Crosby Township.
What organization was this for?
He's looking it up.
County mitigation.
Mitigation.
Why is that mitigation?
That's regarding that meeting that's coming up, right? Or did it just happen?
We just had a meeting 2
3rd.
weeks ago.
Okay.
April 3rd.
I'm getting my months, minutes mixed up.
That's all I have for the chief.
No, I thought he was,
When I find it, I'll give it to you.
that's fine.
I'm looking.
Anything else for him? All right, thank you. Community coordinator, Brenda's not here tonight, so I'll go over her report. There were 33 people who attended a spring luncheon on March 4th. After the lunch, our guest speaker was Larry Weber of LEW Destinations Travel Agency. He talked about different trips that he has planned for next year. On April 20th, the seniors will be going to Versailles, Indiana, to have dinner at 5 p.m. at the Hasmer House, which is the oldest taverns in Versailles. I wrote and submitted to OTARMA a grant for maintenance department to request roadblocks that can be used for pedestrian and vehicle traffic during special events or emergency. Also, the Butler Rural Community Connection Grant Program awarded Crosby seniors $600 to renew our membership with the Cincinnati Creative Aging Through Arts Project. I'm currently in the process of working on paperwork for the upcoming Crosby events, which includes contacts and letters sent out for Crosby Day at Stricker's Grove, held May 21st from 1 to 8 p.m. Also, I'm working with a lot of details from the 108th consecutive Memorial Day Parade and Service on Sunday, May 28th at 2 p.m. I completed the Crosby Township Spring Newsletter and is now at the printers, and they will see it mailed upon completion. Don't forget Crosby Cleanup Days, May 6th and 7th, that are coming up soon. Be held from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days here at the Community Center. The Cold War Patriots have reserved the Community Center to hold another informal open house on April 18th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Boy Scouts are holding their annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser April 22nd here at the Community Center. And that's submitted by Brenda, Community Coordinator. So if you have any questions, ask Brenda. All right, Fiscal Officer Matt.
Thank you. You've got the report in the that was in your mailbox. Continually trying to get you those earlier, and I apologize that they were kind of at the last second today. I did happen to run into Chuck, and earlier this afternoon he was able to take it home and review it in detail ahead of the meeting. There was a couple of extra sets of minutes in there that were already voted on earlier. You guys noticed the new kind of line at the bottom of our minutes where all of you can sign once there's a final form of it. That's on recommendations of OTA, and I think it will look better in future audits because of that. The closest thing we ever had to that in the past was like the chairman kind of initialing the top of I kind of stopped doing it because I thought it was just kind of chintzy, but having those signature lines in there I think is a good improvement. There is, I assume that we'll deal with it in old business, I think is what Alan indicated, but I do have a resolution prepared, which basically is just writing the number into the form resolution that provided by Bob May. We'll get to that later. I do have an issue that for the trustees to address. I have a proposed resolution 11-2023, and so basically what this is after we have the permanent appropriations, we turn those into the county to the auditor. This year was a little bit different because we wanted to appropriate all of these excess funds that we have in these accounts that we historically had not used for possible road projects, etc. We can't use the funds if they're not appropriated. And apparently on two of those particular funds, the auditor is telling us that I overdid the amount, or we overdid the amount by some on motor vehicle license tax. I think they said that we needed to drop our permanent appropriations by at least $25 or something like that. It was a pretty precise number. So, and then the other one was a large fund that had been piling up over years. That was permissive vehicle license tax. They wanted us to have a resolution lowering the appropriations by $12,800 and some dollars. So I put into the resolution dropping it by the amount of $13,000, which lands it at $183,000 on the motor vehicle license tax. And this is all detailed in here in line items on the resolution. The resolution would drop the appropriations for by $100 to $34,900. And when we do that, then Brian will send the copy of this to the county, and we'll get our official amended certificate of funds appropriated from the county, which will make them happy. They want that within the week because the county will be meeting, and they go through and have motions that approve these things from all of the different area, municipalities and townships. So. That's resolution 1123. I think I put a copy of it in your boxes so that you could have it, see it, whatever. But if you could sign this, if anyone wants to make the motion to adopt it. I guess for the people listening, I'll read the exact language. It says, trustee made a motion to adopt Resolution 112023, amending the permanent appropriations for 2023 to reflect a reduction in appropriations for the following funds: motor vehicle license tax 2011-760-790-000 by $100 to $34,900.00. Also permissive vehicle license tax 2231-760-790-0000 by $13,000 to $183,000.00. That's the extent of the language there.
Also move.
I second it.
Roll call.
Loman,
Yes.
Hyab,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes.
There's that. I have a question for the trustees, just so we can put it out there, put it on the record. We have an invoice for equipment that's going to go with or on the new fire engine for $5,600 and some in change, basically. And I know in the past when this was ordered, funds were appropriated. The understanding was that there were going to be various pieces of equipment, and I'm sure expensive equipment that were going to be put on, added on. We appropriated funds over and above, the basic skeleton cost of the fire engine, so that those things could be paid for. The question Brian had for me, and so I have for you, is on items like this, and this specifically, is this something that needs, your specific approval in order for us to pay this bill, or for items like this that are fixtures or additions to the fire engine that's already been approved?
Is this
Do we
going
just pay the
above,
bill?
is this going above the cost of the fire engine that we approved?
No. The issue is 052023 was that resolution we did that said items, any expenses that were non-operating expenses over a certain amount of money need the trustees' approval.
Right, okay.
But this is kind of one of those things where it's
new machinery.
But was this part of the original, the cost?
This was part of the 66,000 for
Oh,
equipment.
so then we've already approved it.
Yeah.
So then we don't need to.
It's coming in spurts, and sometimes when it's lumped together, it's more than that $2,000 or more than 1,000.
yeah.
What they're talking about.
But we already approved it, so.
Yes.
Well, you approved in general equipment for the fire truck, and then in these things, like you said, they come in spurts individually. We just want to make sure we weren't acting in error in paying it, and
Yeah,
I'll tell Brian to go ahead and cut the check.
Part of it, what we approved, then it should be
I don't have
okay.
a problem with it.
Okay. All right. So we'll pay it. That's all I have for now.
Okay, anything else for Matt? Zoning reg? Good timing.
Zoning, we had 2, 4, 7, 8 certificates issued. There were 2 additions, 1 pool, 1 deck, 3 new residences, and 1 accessory building. We're also going to have zoning commission meetings this coming Monday, April 18th at 6:30, and another one at 7. And we're going to have a zoning appeals meeting April 24th at 6:30.
April 24th, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. For zoning
April
appeal.
24th, BZA, 6:30.
What were the dates again for zoning commission?
One of them was for Bruce, a hard landfill, and the other one was for Shunk property. They want to lease their building that used to be the Melmar Glass building. They want to lease it to a construction company as offices and storage.
What dates are those again?
Next Monday, April 18th. First meeting's at 6:30, second meeting's at 7. Monday's the 17th. I'm sorry, it's next Tuesday, the 18th. It's the 18th.
6:30 and 7?
6:30, and the second meeting at 7.
Gotcha.
In the BZA meeting, which is on the 24th, that has to do with the Rack Ballard property on Willie Road and Patty's Run, about fencing for hiding their equipment. That's it. Any questions?
Any houses going into new development yet?
3, and I just
So they're
got,
gonna
I just
start.
issued those zoning permits.
What
3.
builder is that?
I'm sorry,
What builder is doing that?
that's Ryan Holmes.
Ryan? Did they do much in Fort Scott, or?
They did almost all Fort Scott.
Oh,
Which development are you referring to?
the new one across the street?
Across the street from Fort Scott,
Okay.
Where they cleared all that off?
right behind.
Oh, I know it
landfill.
well.
Are they gonna go up under the old dump there and build on that too?
I don't know.
No, they built a giant chain link fence all the way around the dump.
Who, Rumpke, or
I suppose.
probably they have to.
Can see it from my property.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Okay, old business. The only thing I forgot to mention earlier is I guess we had our septic tank here inspected because one of these was on the door here, so we'll be hopefully just getting a bill in the mail. They were here on March 29th. But I don't have anything. Dennis?
All right, old business, our fiasco with Johnson Control Systems. Once when Brenda found the email for me that I didn't get when I missed that meeting, I tried contacting everybody I had. Jack Wagner was the salesman that was here that gave the presentation. He referenced us to talk to Stephen Whitehouse. I sent Stephen Whitehouse an email, never received anything back. I sent a text to Jack Wagner saying that I didn't get anything. And then I called up the collection agency that they turned the account over to, Johnson's Control. And I talked to, I asked for Jessica, but she said give her the number on the head, and I did, and I told her what the deal was, and so she was going to try to light their fire on her end to get somebody to talk to us about it, and I haven't heard anything. And I started that process beginning of last week, and and then talking to different people, everybody's having trouble with their alarm installers. They aren't happy with theirs, and we're not happy
City
with
of
ours. Scherzinger Drilling wasn't happy with theirs, so I don't know what to tell you.
But we're stuck till the end of next year, I think.
That behavior is exactly what I've been talking about. The fact that they come here, they say one thing, try to get to the bottom of it, and in the meantime, they take you to collections.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely unconscionable.
So
And it doesn't surprise me at all, because that's kind of the way that they've operated.
So I don't know how long
As long
our
as I've been here.
contract is for, but I think we ought to look for another
It was till
business.
either end of this year or next year. We got it in 19. It may have been a 5-year contract. It was October of 19. So I think it's to be 24.
You need to talk to somebody about your equipment. Depending on whose equipment and how it's,
Well, it's Johnson Controls equipment.
well, then if you get rid of Johnson Control, you gotta get rid of all your equipment.
Oh, I know.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, we know
yeah.
that.
Okay.
But they came in, we pay like over $4,000 a year for maintenance, and then they came in and put a new panel in, and it's a bill for almost $8,000 they sent us for that. And it's only been in here for 3 years or whatever.
And we've been having
they
problems,
come in and
so.
they replace stuff without any kind of authorization to do it. And then we tell them, and then they say, well, let me talk to somebody about that. And in the meantime, send you to collections.
Well, the salesman stopped by the store and even talked to me, the one that came to the meeting, and he's like, he said, don't pay that. He's like, I'll look into it.
So,
I thought the new guy was gonna get on top of that.
right.
That's who I'm talking about.
But he just passed the buck.
I get a feeling the new guy, everywhere he
probably went to his
goes, has
boss.
the same issues that are brought and put on his plate.
So, all right, that's pretty much all the old business I have.
Do you wanna do the contract now?
We can.
That'd be a good time, since
All right.
it's not new.
Bob's here and
Yep, get Bob out of here. Got to rest up for his golf game tomorrow.
Bye, thanks.
do you wanna speak at the microphone?
We'll save your seat for you.
I heard him call seat check.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bob May from RJM Consulting, and we have got some paperwork that we have put together for getting a contract with GWA Recreation. You have got the forms that I sent you, 2 copies, that you can authorize. Unfortunately, Jackson Greery with DWA will not be here tonight. He's in Petersburg, Ohio, taking care of an emergency that he had to leave to take care of. He will be back on Wednesday. But based on the way the information got sent out, they signed the notice that they will sign a contract with you. You can fill out you can sign everything tonight. Then and Dennis, you and I can meet with Jackson on Wednesday or Thursday, get him to fill that out, the contract, and then they'll have a contract and you'll have a signed contract. And that's my recommendations.
Okay.
So you can do everything tonight, because I've got, I sent out my typical letter. They've sent me the AIA billing breakdown, copies of their insurance certificates, their workman's comp certificates, their safety manual, their list of subcontractors. So everything that I need to have them proceed, they have covered. Now, once you sign the contract, they still have to get the permit,
Right.
have the drawings, go to Hamilton County so that they can get that approved. From there, they can order the equipment, and then 15 weeks from now, when it comes in, we can go out there and build that facility. And they said there's about 3 weeks construction on it. So
Sounds like
everything I see is pretty good, and Jackson would have been here except for he had an emergency that took him out of town.
Okay.
Any questions?
So all we need to do is, to start this, is sign resolution number 10-2023.
Yeah, is that already filled out? And I sent over one this afternoon that has the name of the company.
No, I don't have
Yeah,
that.
I've sent everybody.
Oh, I didn't print that one out, sorry. That was probably after I,
Well, that's okay. I mean, as long as you fill out
I
the
got that-
name
I had the
of,
blank one if you need to.
well, I
the
have the
one
blank
filled
one,
got
that's
blank
what I
one.
passed out. I just need to
Okay.
fill out the exact wording. So Bob, if you, I mean, we can do it right now. If you want to just go through with me the exact name in the heading.
It's DWA Recreation, Inc.
That the one that's filled out.
Do you need
Yeah,
their
here it is.
address?
this is it.
You
No,
have
we've
it?
got it.
Got it?
No, here's the one that's fully completed. We just need a resolution number
Resolution number is 10.
10. And then if the resolution basically adopts,
I'll read it.
go ahead. Good idea.
Resolution number 10-2023, resolution adopting the construction contract with DWA Recreation. Preamble, whereas the Crosby Township Board of Trustees has accepted the bid of DWA Recreation for the design build of an 816 square foot pre-engineered shelter building and site work. And whereas the Board of Trustees of Crosby Township, known as the board, has determined that it is in the best interest of the township to enter into a construction contract with DWA Recreation. Resolution, now therefore be it resolved by the board that the following resolution be and it hereby is adopted. Section 1, the board hereby agrees to enter into construction contract with DWA Recreation, a copy of which is attached hereto to Exhibit A. Section 2, Dennis Hyab, trustee, is hereby authorized to sign the construction contract on behalf of the township. Section 3, it is hereby found and determined that all formal actions of the board concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this board, and that all deliberations of this board that resulted in this formal action were in a meeting open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code, adopted this day of April 2023. So today is the 10th, so it would be the 10th day of April. And then we have it signed by all three trustees and Matt Wallace, Township Fiscal Officer.
Move to approve,
So,
move to adopt that resolution. Somebody's got to do it.
I move to adopt a resolution.
I second it.
Roll call.
Lohman,
Yes.
Hyab,
yes,
Heiss.
Yes.
Will you make sure that a copy of the contract is attached as Exhibit A?
Yeah, and it should not be the signed contract.
Correct.
It should be a blank unsigned contract, but it needs to be on there. And I don't have one of those, so if
Okay.
someone could get that for
Have
me.
one that's blank,
Blank as in not signed.
not signed by the
But-
township at least.
I got one that's blank.
Yeah. You emailed that to everybody last week.
I can give you two of them because you need to sign one, two of them.
I want something unsigned simply that it will become part of this resolution.
Well, this
For-
isn't-
for our
this isn't
records.
signed
Okay.
because
I'm not, and what I'm telling you is I'm not gonna sign it. No one's gonna sign it. It's gonna remain unsigned as an attachment to this resolution that authorizes Dennis to sign it.
Yeah, they don't, I'm
Yeah,
the only,
and-
I'm gonna be the only signature on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're gonna
Dennis
sign that
doesn't
one.
have to sign
I
it
just need something I can put with this in
tonight,
our records.
but the resolution has to be, which it has been adopted, and everybody has to sign the resolution.
Right,
That empowers Dennis to sign the contract.
But this document, which is part of the contract, Matt needs to sign.
Is that about the availability of funds?
no,
This is just
he's just
the
a test.
language that was set up in the other one that includes what is in the contract.
Okay.
Now Dennis signs it also, but both of you need to do it. Matt because of the financial side, Dennis because he's the person that's in charge. That's the exact same one system we use with the big $750,000 project.
Got it.
Okay. Well, I think, is this the same thing that he's signing right now?
We just signed a resolution.
The resolution, okay.
This needs
Okay.
to be signed with all three of your signatures. I think that's the way it's set up.
All signatures on it or just
No, it's just Dennis.
It's just Dennis.
Yeah, because he's authorized to be the
Yeah.
signer.
Yeah, the main contract is just
So,
me
The
and,
rest of it's the contract.
right.
so here's what, if, Chairman, if I could, I want to go right now and make a copy of
I
this.
can give you another one.
Okay, unsigned. This will be attached here, and we will sign one, but it will be another one.
I got one.
Okay.
These are all the same thing, and this is what I sent out to Dennis.
Yeah, I copied it off.
Brennan sent the other two to you.
Well, let's do this. This one is literally original, so let's make this one the one that gets signed. I'll attach this copy to the resolution.
Okay. And then Dennis, you'll get those back to me. And then we can meet up with, Jackson to have him sign it.
So you want me to go ahead and sign the contract with Matt tonight?
Yes.
That way, when we meet with Jackson,
Yeah,
he
we don't
signs
have
and then
to
we
have
got
to
it.
re-meet again.
Right.
That's how we did it the last
Okay.
time, so we don't have to keep coming back.
And
to me.
and I already signed the financial stuff. My signature on here is only a test
Right.
to your signature. So I'll watch you sign and then I'll sign.
Paperwork that killed me, that's the hardest part.
You probably spend more time
Yeah.
with that.
I can build a building better than I can do the paperwork. And I will be in contact with the general contractor as we go through and keep in touch with him about where we are, you know, in the permit process. We still have to touch base with Abercrombie to get that plan for the site work that needs to be included in the package for the permit for DWA to submit to Anthony County. Then we'll be able to go in there, fill out the paperwork, and then let them take a look at the plans, sign off on them. And the one thing, talking with Abercrombie, because there's no electric, no sewer, and basically, we don't have to do like a detention basin.
Sure.
You know, we can just kind of drain it in the area that it is, should take care of itself.
Bob, here's the you want the original signed contract, right?
Yep.
Okay. Should be good.
As soon as I get hold of,
Okay.
get this signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
If you need anything else, just give me a shout.
Do you have anything else, Dennis?
No.
Chuck, old business?
I don't have any.
Okay, thanks. New business, I have none.
Great rest of your day, guys.
To sir.
Thanks. Dennis?
The only new business is I gave you a copy of the Hamilton County Stormwater District. In the past, we always, and it was started back before I came on board, the township picked up and paid out of the general fund the estimated total annual service fee, which in this case is going to be for 2024 is $60,560. You know, it's up to the board to determine if you wanted to keep paying it or if you pass the buck and have it put on the property owner's tax bill. So,
What did we pay last year? Do you have any idea?
I don't know.
I mean, has it gone up a lot, or is it?
I don't think it went up, but I can't remember.
I don't recall.
I know it was probably in the similar ballpark.
Are you going into executive session?
Not yet.
Yeah, we're at the end.
No, but I can look up what we paid last
Oh,
year.
wow, we're in there. but-
Okay,
While you're in
Oh,
executive
when we come
session.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
okay.
decide when we come out.
all right.
So we'll
We'll
table.
table it until
until
after we come out of executive session. That's all I have for new business.
Chuck,
I got none.
any other concerns? There's no one here to make any concerns, but
I got one. The, one zoning meeting I said was gonna be next Tuesday, that's been rescheduled.
Is that the 6:31 or the 7 one? That's
7
7's rescheduled.
to May 1st.
Okay.
At 6:30.
6:30's on, okay.
What was that new day again?
May 1st, I think you said?
Yeah,
May 1st.
Now we move to executive session.
I move we go into an executive session with the chief to discuss the salary for the part-time firefighters.
What-
Sec-
Hold on. What time was that new meeting on May 1st, Rick?
6:30.
6:30. All right. Mr. Hyatt moved executive session, seconded by Mr. Heiss.
Roll call.
Lohman,
Yes.
Hyam,
Yeah.
Heiss.
yes.
Right though? Because you. Yeah. That's right.
I need a motion to come out of executive session.
I make that motion.
I second it.
Roll call.
No, he's busy.
First, you'll end one on the 15th. Thanks for mentioning that. Lohman,
Yes.
Hyam,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes,
Who made that motion?
I made the motion. And Dennis seconded. You want me to make a motion?
I was getting ready to talk, but go ahead.
I make a motion that we give all the part-time firefighter a raise of 75 cents per hour, starting
April 16th.
April the 16th.
How much? 75 cents an hour?
Correct.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Lohman,
Yes.
Hyam,
Yes.
Yes.
And now to back up, Brian, did you have that amount for that Hamilton County?
I cannot find where I went back 3 years where we've ever paid it.
I don't
It-
recall.
And I went back and I tried to look,
I know we passed it that we would,
What?
it would come out of the general budget, so,
but
general
and the
fund.
thing is, like, I've checked on, unless I'm missing something, like on the tax distribution,
Yeah.
that I don't see where it's,
Well,
Like, what do? They send us an invoice then? Or is that the invoice? Like,
it doesn't say that. It just says, action requested, signature and form submittal by Wednesday, May 10th.
I wonder if it's something that's built up over the years or something.
It just says estimate for 2024. It doesn't say.
I mean, it doesn't look like an invoice.
No.
We could take our next meeting's the 8th. We could talk.
Maybe,
about that.
hold on. Maybe it's is it possible it's something where you sign this, date it, return to them, and then it's like taken out of revenues before they even, because it's a county thing?
I have no idea.
'Cause I don't recall sending, you were mentioning that, and I'm thinking to myself, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but I wanted to wait to hear what Brian said. I don't recall like cutting a check for
right.
this purpose.
Right.
But
It could be deleted out before you get
it could
the
be.
money that's sent to you.
Could be.
So
Yeah.
you can call somebody at the bottom.
I
Todd.
I thought a long time ago the trustee decided to bill the homeowners for this. But
I know the
I
last
think
time
it went back and forth a couple times before I
I
was
know
on.
last year we passed it, and the year before that, we passed it that the township would foot the bill.
But-
And it says up
I
there,
agree that-
fees, the estimated service fees per SFU remain unchanged from the 2023
Okay,
program
then
year.
Brian doesn't have to look then.
So the total annual service fee amount may change for your township from last year if there has been an increase, decrease in SFUs, which is, what's an SFU? It's got to be up there somewhere. I don't see it. Typically associated with development or redevelopment activities. So we really didn't have, we'll probably get an increase next year when they start the new housing allotment and they start putting housing up. Then that might increase us because Fort Scott really hasn't been increased.
They're estimating.
That was billed out last year.
They're estimated 4,000. Is that something units? Probably something units. See where it says to be in that column at the top? So they're estimating like probably 400 houses or something. It's probably something units.
Well,
Single-family units.
Yeah, probably is.
Estimated
You-
single-family units. That's probably what it means.
Well, 4,000
still-
is pretty high.
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
well, the bottom line is for me, they're giving you numbers,
Right.
and no matter how how it's paid or accounted for, we can figure that out. You know, Brian can call them during the workday or something and just kind of get to the bottom of exactly what it is and how it works and all that kind of thing.
How
The
they
question is,
how they came up with 4,000 units, because if there's 2,600 people in Crosby Township, how is there 4,000 houses?
Well,
Parks and Whitewater would not be included because that's probably City of they're paying through City of Harrison.
I have no idea.
You want me to call them?
I think what would be a good idea is if you guys want more information on these numbers, I think it would be best if one of you guys investigated it.
I'll call them.
You see what I'm saying? Because you're gonna
do because it has to have a signature. So I move that we give Doug Lohman authority to research the Hamilton County Stormwater District bill. And when he finds out what it is and do what's in best interest of Crosby Township.
But we have till May 10th, and our next meeting's the 8th, so we could do it at the next meeting. I can come back with information.
Did we really need a motion before you could do that?
I would need a motion for that.
I don't think you need to.
Well, then I'll rescind my motion if you think you can,
Yeah.
because it has to be scanned and emailed, so Brian can do that
Yeah.
easy enough after we have our next meeting on the 8th.
Yep.
That's what you want to do, that's fine by me.
But you're gonna between then you're gonna call them.
I'll call this
Okay.
Todd
Okay.
guy. I'm just gonna ask him.
Todd Long.
Yeah, it's at the bottom, and
I'll just put in the minutes we had discussion on stormwater.
I'll ask him where they come up with that 4,000 estimate too.
And ask him, when does the money come out in our
4,000.
situation? All right,
Yeah, and it could be it's paid to the county, but like straight to the treasurer under a different name. It could be we have paid it, but not something that he looks up. Some verbiage that says stormwater. You know what I mean?
It's like
possible
we probably never see the money.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought this came up in the past, and I thought we trustees put it on the taxpayer bill. So I don't know. It might have been something
It was
different.
back and forth, I think, because I
No,
remember
last time
Might have been
the
something
last two
different.
times
before
it
we
was-
were on.
The last two times when I was on, because I filled Chris Stoll's spot, when Niehaus was here, the township paid for it.
So that's what I thought
Check,
too.
I mean, we usually
No, it just must
signed
come out, so you're gonna have to find that out. We need
I
more
will.
information.
I didn't know it come up every year. I thought it stayed that way unless
It
you
was-
vote
It was
differently.
here last year.
So,
All right, anything else? Do I have a
I'm gonna
motion?
adjourn.
I second.
Roll call,
Loman,
yes.
Hyam,
Yes.
Heiss.
Yes.
Our next regular, I should have already said this. Our next regular business meeting will be May 8th,
Yes, I'm
2023 at
sorry for the typo.
7.